Hola, here are your notes for your interactive notebook for the lesson on el verbo jugar, or the verb jugar, for chapter 4b. These notes should go on pages 87 and 88. Please pause the video and highlight your interactive notebook notes. Once you're finished, then we will start the lesson. Hola, today you are going to learn about el verbo jugar, which is a stem-changing verb in Spanish. This will be your first stem-changing verb lesson. We have learned before that jugar means to play. We also learned that there is another verb that means to play, which is tocar. The difference between these two verbs is that jugar is used to describe playing sports or any other game, such as video games, card games, board games, any game of that nature. Tocar, on the other hand, is used to describe playing instruments. So two verbs that mean the same thing, but just used to describe two different kinds of play. One for sports, one for instruments. Tocar is not a stem-changing verb. It is a regularly conjugated verb. So if you are already familiar, which you should be, of how to conjugate present tense AR verbs, then tocar is no different from that process. You just follow that process and conjugate it normally. Jugar, on the other hand, is not like that. Like I said, it is a stem-changing verb. So let's discuss what that means. When you conjugate jugar, you have to remember that it is a stem-changing verb. What this means is that the stem of the verb is going to change. In this case, you are going to change the U in jugar from U to UE. Now, just as a review, if you forgot what a stem of the verb is, you have jugar, and when you drop the AR, ER, or IR ending off of any verb, you have what is called the stem. That is the part of the verb that is going to change. We are going to change the U to a UE. For example, if we wanted to say I play, we have yo jugar. Well, first we have to drop the ending. Normally, in a present tense conjugated AR verb, we would simply just add the O. However, we cannot do that with this verb because what we have just then said, yo jugo, jugo is juice. So then we've said I juice, which doesn't make sense. That's not what we intend to say. We want to say I play. Therefore, we are going to change the U to a UE. So now we say yo juego. And now this means I play. And we have just conjugated our first stem-changing verb correctly. Yo jugo is I juice, so we don't say that. We say yo juego, I play. So let's look at the different conjugations of jugar. Now, one rule you need to remember is that you change the U to UE in all conjugation forms except when using the nosotros and vosotros forms. So those two are the only ones that are not going to change. Here is the conjugation chart for jugar. It's yo juego, tú juegas, él, ella, usted juega, nosotros, nosotras jugamos, vosotros, vosotras jugáis, ellos, ellas, ustedes juegan. So you can see where the stem changes is all right here. Now, if you draw a box around the conjugations that change, or if you highlight the boxes that change, it tends to look like a boot. For that reason, a lot of times these verbs are called boot verbs and also called stem changers. So stem-changing verbs, boot verbs, they are both the same thing. So you're only going to stem change the forms in the boot. Let's look at another example. Now, knowing what a stem-changing verb and boot verb are, let's try to say you play. So first we have jugar. We drop the ending. And normally we would just add AS. However, that's wrong because jugas doesn't mean anything. So instead, we're going to stem change the U to a UE. And now we have juegas, which is you play. And that is correct. Okay, before we practice, let's look at a few other examples. Just going to go over 5 examples. Okay, how we would say I play tennis would be juego al tenis. Now we play sports. We does not stem change. The nosotros form does not stem change. So we're just going to say jugamos deportes. You will never say juegamos. Always jugamos. Jorge plays golf. Jorge juega al golf. You play video games. Juegas videojuegos. You all play baseball. There's 2 ways to say this, whether you are in Spain or whether you're not, whether you're using the vosotros form or ustedes form. You could say juegan al béisbol, or if you are using the vosotros form, you would not stem change the verb and just say jugáis al béisbol. Ahora vamos a practicar con el verbo jugar. This is the part of the video where you will practice on your own first and then come back and see how well you were able to conjugate jugar. So pause now and practice filling in these blanks with a conjugation form of jugar. Okay, let's check your answers. So number 1, quienes is plural, meaning whom. And so we're going to conjugate for the plural form, juegan. Carmen juega al basquetbol conmigo. Número 3, Juan y tú. Juan y tú could have been 2 different answers. If you're in Spain, jugáis al voleibol, which does not require a stem change. And then if you were using the ustedes form, Juan y tú does require a stem change. So Juan y tú juegan al voleibol. Número 4, tú juegas al fútbol en el parque. 5, Ángela y yo jugamos los deportes cada día. Does not require stem change. So you should not have said juegamos, should be jugamos. 6, Felipe y Ferdinand juegan al golf. Y 7, yo juego al softball mucho. Okay, and that is how you conjugate el verbo jugar. Gracias. Bring any questions you have to class, and I'll see you next time. Hasta la próxima.